Hey friends, welcome. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I'd like to show you how I do coasters adding wood into it. So I'm going to do a beach coaster. I'm in the process of doing a set of beach coasters. So I will cut out a piece of wood using either a saw, my maker, something of the sort that fits into my coaster mold. And I only do half of it. Now on this one, I'm going to use a sticker of a seahorse, and these turn out so great inside these molds. Now, I want to show you that you can do it two ways. So on this one, I'm going to put the wood in, and then I'm going to put in my epoxy, but also I will sometimes color my wood ahead of time and put a thin layer of epoxy like I'm doing here. I'll do it on the bottom of the coaster mold so that my wood is covered. But in the finished product, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I mixed my epoxy. I've started using the Pro Marine. Like I said before, I really liked the Envirotech Light. However, I'm telling you, I am digging this Pro Marine. I have cups that are in the process of going, and I am so happy with them. So I'm going to just do a light covering over my wood, and I'm going to do a little light covering in the bottom of my mold, and this is just with the clear. And then I will add in, any embellishments that you want. I'm going to use this sticker and put in the seahorse. And, again, remember that your mold is the part that's down is going to be your front. So when you're putting in your pieces, make sure you put them in so that you're going to see them properly. And now if you're unsure, before you put in any epoxy, you can sort of set your pieces in that need to go a certain way and, flip it over and look and see how it's going to work for you. All right, so I'm going to add my my mica powder to my epoxy. This is a teal color that I like to use often when I'm doing, ocean type of scenes. So this color for me, I think, is really pretty. You use, of course, whatever mica color you want. Now, the one thing that I really like about this, when you do the wood, if you don't paint the back side, you can see it makes a two-tone color. And I myself just really like that a lot. I think that looks really, really pretty. And then, fill your mold. You want to get up to your edge, but try not to go over your edge. Now, if you go over a little, it's not a big deal. You can cut off and sand, anything extra. But the neater you are with it, the less work you have to do on the backside. So after I get this filled, I'm going to, make sure I put it on a nice even surface, and I'm going to let it dry. And then I'll bring it back to you after. Now, if you have any bubbles, you can take your heat gun and run your heat gun over it. That will help to clear any bubbles. Do not use a torch. I know sometimes I'm really bad, like I'll use a little lighter, and not a torch, but a little lighter, and even that's not good because you'll ruin your molds. You really should just use a heat gun. Now I have some extra epoxy here, so when I have extra epoxy, I do like to just put it in some little molds. This is a wine bottle, and I have a container that I keep little extra molds because I like to put little mold pieces into other mold pieces and, create different things with them. So I'll do this. And then on my alphabet letters, I do also like to keep like different embellishments inside my alphabet. And then I'm constantly making letters. All right, so we have our coaster here. Now I want to show you, because this one, when we did it, I left it so that the wood will show in case you want it to just be wood and resin. So normally I would paint the piece or, you know, ink it or whatever I'm going to do prior and put epoxy over the entirety of the bottom of the coaster so that that's covered. But I wanted to be able to show you both ways. Let's take this out. Oh, that's so pretty. See how pretty that is? I love it. Absolutely love it. So as you can see, if you want it to be something that is just wood, you can do that. Just gonna take a quick sand to it. And so what I mean by putting epoxy over the entirety, so I would have normally put just a light layer of clear epoxy here and then put my wood piece down. That way my wood is covered. But I wanted you to see, because I know that sometimes people like to just have their wood show. So I just wanted to be able to show you both ways. Now, I like it covered, so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so there's that. So I do like to use alcohol ink on my wood a lot. Just gonna, this is just some blending solution. You don't have to use it, but I like to. And I'm just gonna put some ink on my brush. And I just love how this stains the wood. Now, I do have some epoxy in some places, so the entire thing's not gonna cover, which is I'm absolutely fine with. The look is good for me. But I would normally do this ahead of time like this. So I just wanted to show you. And then I would put some epoxy and then put that down. And if I wanted to do the underside, I would. But I like to do the underside like this so that it's like a two-tone. So now I'm just gonna use that one there, and I have some epoxy made. So I'll tell you, I'm really digging this Pro Marine. Nothing with my Envirotech light. I mean, it did me very well and I enjoyed it. But the honest truth is, this Pro Marine, oh my goodness. So I have a couple tumblers working, and I will tell you, I'm really happy with it. So I'm just gonna go in and finish up my coaster like this. I didn't use much, but I definitely still made too much epoxy. And that's the other thing. I'm feeling like I'm honestly using less epoxy with the Pro Marine. I don't know if I'm just thinking that or if that's actually the case, but I'm definitely feeling like I'm using less epoxy. And when I'm finishing something up like this, I actually like to use a paintbrush. The problem is if you use a paintbrush though, you do have to make sure that you get it in some alcohol before it sets. Otherwise your paintbrush is going to be ruined. So don't use, you know, a paintbrush that you are just extremely fond of, just in case. Because I have done that before. And I just like to use, you know, another silicone mold that I have. That's what I'll use as my base. I also have, if you see them in Dollar Tree, let me show you real quick, since I'm going to say it. I buy these. They're these silicone makeup blenders. And if I'm like doing some sort of small little project, I use these to put it on. I love them. Okay, so I'm going to, I just want to add just a little bit of, so this glitter here, it is by Glitter Monkey, and it is one of my favorites for like beach stuff. I use it all the time. This is it. It's called Beach Please. And this little container here, it's for doing nails. But I get those at Sally's. And I like to, if I'm doing like small pieces of glitter or like some sort of beading or something like that, I do like putting it in those. It's easy for me to get to it. And then, you know, as always, I'll use my little heat gun to clear out any bubbles. It's out on the back porch, so I'll get it and put it on. I'm not going to show you that, but just so you can see, here is my coaster. So many fun things that you can do with coasters. I love it. So, all right, well, listen, I hope you have a blessed and beautiful rest of the day, and take care. I'll see you next time. Bye.